Been some significant moves, haven't there, from Manchester United this summer. Rafa Varane, of course, confirmed it this week. Jadon Sancho making that big money transfer from Borussia Dortmund. Plus, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing a 3-year contract with an option for another year. Jan, I'm glad you're with us because so many people on social media accuse us of being anti-Manchester United because we haven't been popping the champagne after the announcement of Solskjaer signing that new contract. Pretty much unanimous from everyone we've had on, questioning why on earth United chose now to do it. Are you in that camp as well?
No, not at all. I think that is a consequence of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did last season. He steadied the ship. He got them back in a second position. And they have started a transfer window now with some good signings. Maybe not enough to be a title challenger yet, but I think that is a consequence of that season. What surprised me, Dan, of is extending the contract. They did so long till 2024 when you know that a Pochettino, a Tuchel, a Guardiola, so all the contracts are up in 2023. But I guess they can afford to fire a manager if he doesn't win titles, because this, of course, puts pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He has to produce titles and trophies for Manchester United.
Do you want to say anything? Or shall I continue? You were leaning, and I wasn't sure if there was anything coming out of your mouth.
How long has he got, by the way, to keep getting better?
I was just trying to think about the other day. What day is it today?
Today is Wednesday,
I was trying to think about the other day I was on, because I was just going to say, click on the link on ESPN Plus for that show.
Right, OK. That's it.
Is this his
third year in charge?
Yes.
Don't know.
Yes, it is, yeah.
I'm quite bored of it all.
So Jan's saying that maybe not enough to challenge for a title.
Yeah.
So
this will be his fourth campaign in charge. His third full campaign.
So how long has this guy got before he starts challenging?
Yeah, so I suppose that's the question, Jan, isn't it?
That's what I said. I think we said that when Frank Lampard, you remember when he got that transfer windows where he couldn't buy players, there was no pressure on Frank Lampard. And I think that before this season, when you got Varane, you got a central defender, you can mix your midfield a bit differently now. You don't have to have two number 6 to kind of hide the defense problem they got. They got exciting players in Jadon Sancho. Of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now have to produce a title. That is the pressure of being a Manchester United manager. For all the guys who are sitting in the studio and say he shouldn't get a new contract, I think that is wrong. I think that is exactly what he should get after a second place. If I could finish my sentence, and then I was just saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made him a second last season, and if you see the record the last years, Manchester United haven't been good at all. So I think that was I couldn't be a surprise for any of you that he would extend his contract.
Well, they did finish second on 81 points with Jose Mourinho winning the League Cup and the Europa League. So.
Exactly. And if you saw Manchester United last season, Mourinho was there, Craig Burley. Even you would have fired Jose Mourinho.
No,
and
I'm not arguing with that, but I've not seen a manager lauded so much who has won so little over a new contract. We know we know Solskjaer was not going to be fired in the summer or after last season. We know that wasn't going to happen. All my point was, which I think was pretty much in line with what Stevie and others was saying, is there was no rush to give him one because there's no other suitors out there. When you give somebody a new contract, it's because there are other suitors out there and you're worried about losing them. Here they have a manager. Here they have a manager where they could have sat and assessed how the season was going up until around Christmas time and made a decision, one way or the other, good or bad. And all I'm saying is I don't understand what the rush was to have to hand this out when they were not in danger of losing Solskjaer and then have not tied themselves down to a long-term deal.
I think that is a fair point, Craig, but I think that the reason they did that was they're spending a lot of money now. I mean, they say Varane is a great deal, Sancho is a great deal, but still they have spent a lot of money in this summer, and they've spent a lot of money the last year, although a lot of the Manchester United fans so mad at the Glazers for different reasons, but they have spent money. And I think that was a bit predictability when they are going into this season, that they make sure that he will stay. Everybody wouldn't think of that something will happen with the managers. I think that was a strategic position from Manchester United, but we all know the business. If he doesn't produce, if he doesn't get the results, then he will be gone anyway. But I think that was not a surprise that they kind of extend his contract now when they're doing all these kind of investments.
Surely that's the reason you don't extend it. Because you've gone out and spent a lot of money. What happens if it falls flat on its face? Now you're going to have to pay a guy a 3-year contract up if you want rid of him. It's kind of what happened to Frank. We all gave Frank a pass when he had no transfer window. Then he goes and spends a load of money. Then they go on a terrible run. Abramovich says, thanks very much. I gave you the money, you brought in the players, and you didn't produce. Nobody can have a problem, really. So surely that's the reason you don't give him a contract. Because you brought in players, you spent a lot of money on players for them to compete for the Premier League title. And if it falls flat, then you're stuck with him, or you pay him a 3-year deal.
Were Manchester United not paying David Moyes whilst Louis van Gaal was manager, and paying Louis van Gaal whilst Jose Mourinho was manager, and probably paying Jose Mourinho while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was manager, if indeed they hadn't paid him up in one big, huge lump sum? And so I just feel there was lessons to be learned here about how they conducted their business. But they've made it, listen, they've made a decision, and they'll have to see how that stacks up with the other clubs that are vying for domestic and European trophies. I mean, great signing so far, great transfer window, there's no doubt about that. But there's still a few anomalies within the side to see, just how strong they're going to be in comparison to Chelsea, City, and probably Liverpool as well.
Jan?
Yeah, I agree on that. I think that Manchester United will do their business kind of differently in terms of money. And Stevie got a good point, and we saw that with Frank Lampard. But I am afraid in this mad world of football money that is going around now, to sack a manager or pay him for 2-3 years, that is not a big thing. But I still don't think it's surprising that they want the predictability on the most important job at the club at the moment, when they are selling an idea, they are selling a project to Varane or Sancho. They want to know who will be the manager. And even though we've criticized Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he doesn't have the pulling power, well, so far so good in terms of the transfer window. And then we all know that is the great thing about football. When you lose the first game, then we know where things are going anyway.
Yeah, and it was about the money, wasn't it? It wasn't about Solskjaer. No one else has got this sort of money at the moment.
Of course. But yes, of course. But it's a fair point, because we have to, even pundits or even experts have to remember what we said at least a couple of weeks ago. So if we say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't be the Manchester United manager because he can't pull players, okay, fair enough. But then we have to give him the thumbs up when things are going good. And there is a lot of other clubs that would need a Varane or a Sanchez too, Dan. So it's not only they went to Manchester United only for the money.
What's a success then, Jan? You talk about silverware. What sort of silverware are we talking about? Because you take a look at the squads that City and Chelsea have, despite these additions that Manchester United have made, it's still not good enough. Is it? The players, there aren't a good enough selection of players within that squad for Manchester United, you feel, to compete on the same level as Manchester City, for example?
Absolutely, Jan. But if we have a look at the last seasons of Manchester United, and if we see the odds here, I think the odds are fair. I expect Manchester City to be there, Chelsea be the Champions League. Maybe they can add someone, at least 1 or 2 players more, and Liverpool have to come back. They maybe done the best signing this summer if they get Van Dijk fit for the season. So for Manchester United, they have to get closer, because we can say, they have to win, but we always compare them with Sir Alex Ferguson when he was there. Van Gaal, Mourinho, David Moyes, they didn't produce either for Manchester United. So Manchester United got to get closer. They were second last season, and they have to get closer to win titles.
However, if you're Solskjaer, you'll say, hey, look, I've got a team that are 4th favourites to win the Premier League here. If I can match that or beat that, then surely I've exceeded expectations and I've achieved my job.
That depends where your sights are set.
Right.
I would have thought, although you can't argue with Jan that right now they're probably 4th best. Mm-hmm. It's Manchester United. Are we going to have to clean the slate and forget about Fergie? And Manchester United are now at a level where, if they can break through the 4th spot into the top 3 consistently, then that's success.
Right.
Because that's kind of the way the talk's going. That because Ollie's got a new contract.
Solskjaer,
and yes,
don't call him Ollie.
Sorry, Solskjaer.
Fine.
And they're not going to challenge for the title, but that's okay.
Right, but this is it.
How is that okay?
If Solskjaer's in charge of a Manchester United team that are favourites to win the title and they don't win it, you can understand why he's got to go.
Tell me something. Who have Chelsea signed so far?
Chelsea have done nothing, haven't they? They've been quiet so far.
Okay. Chelsea haven't signed anybody of note so far, but Chelsea are seen by the bookies as more likely to challenge for a title. Why? Where were Chelsea when Thomas Tuchel came in?
Well, you can ask me, Craig, because I said to you that it was the best signing of the season. So just ask me, Craig.
No, you're doing a good job patting yourself in the back.
But
you asked the question.
Is it that simple? If Thomas Tuchel was in charge of this Manchester United team, would they be second favourites instead of fourth, Jan?
Well, I think one of the reasons Tuchel had a period not just at the end of the season. He had a bad period and people were having a go at him, but he won the Champions League. So I think when you put up the odds, I mean, maybe this is breaking news, but it's not professors doing the odds in England. And they're winning the Champions League. You have to put them further up at the odds table, so to say. But Thomas Tuchel is one of the best managers in the world. And I've said that all along. So that is nothing to do with that. That doesn't surprise me that Manchester United are fourth. And that, who would you have changed anything, Stevie and Craig? I think.
No, all I'm saying is Thomas Tuchel comes in, and because people have looked at the structure of his organisations and what he wants, and the player understanding of what he wants, whether we think it's the greatest thing or not, it brought them. It should have been an FA Cup final win, but Leicester were the better team, and it was a Champions League final win. And I think because of that, there is a confidence that within that Chelsea squad, that even if they don't bring any other big names in, that he has got the guile to go and the nous to get enough out of that group of players that they potentially could challenge.
You know, we're forgetting one thing, right? So we're all supposed pundits, we're supposed to be experts, and we're talking about this and that. At the end of the day, you can't argue that Chelsea have got a better squad than Man United, right? But we're forgetting, listen, I'm a fan, and I'm a Liverpool fan.
Right.
And when Brendan Rodgers was the manager of Liverpool, I got sick listening to him talking about how great they were and how they were going to do this and how they were building this and building that and getting nowhere. I got sick of listening to it. I hated it at the end, and I was glad that they moved them on. Solskjaer's doing exactly what Brendan Rodgers was doing at Liverpool. They're getting better. We're getting better.
Right.
I'm sick of listening to him telling them we're getting better. They're going to have to break through.
But they are getting better. They finished second last year.
And again, we'll go back to where we started. When are they going to get over the top of getting better? And why are you giving the guy a 3-year contract?
Right.
It doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.